Hey Amazon, I'm doing a review today of this Sunbuck, very small stereo amp receiver, and I like it okay. I'm going to tell you about it. It's got a good build quality. That's one thing I do like, and you can see here it's quite small. This is a cell phone right there. It's not much wider than a cell phone. Doesn't take up much space. Packs a lot of stuff into the size. You've got a switch here for inputs, media player, auxiliary, CD, and line inputs. I'll show you some of those on the back. Here's your auxiliary input. Moving along, you've got treble and bass controls. Then you've got two controls that are for these two microphone inputs. So echo and mic volume. This would be useful for karaoke. I'm not going to test the mics. I'm not going to use it for that, but it does have that. Then you've got a USB port where you can plug in something like a thumb drive that I'll show you momentarily. You've got a series of buttons used for radio tuning and for Bluetooth controls, and then your volume button. On the back, let me show you, you've got some more inputs. You do have two sets of RCA inputs here. One is labeled for CD, one is line input. This is my speaker outputs here, stereo left and right. You've got input for DC power, but of course I'm using this on AC power right now. There's your voltage selector depending on where you live, and an input for an FM antenna. So that's what you've got. The one thing that is conspicuously missing to me is any way to do output of your audio other than two speakers. Unfortunately, I did not pay much attention when I ordered this. What I was hoping to do with it was to use this with an existing stereo system that does not have Bluetooth to give me access to Bluetooth in my stereo rig. But unfortunately, you can't incorporate this into an existing stereo setup because you only can connect it with speaker outputs. You don't have a headphone jack. You don't have a line output. Kind of limits this, but it is what it is. So that's one thing that I would make this a lot more versatile and would make it better. But as it is, let's check this thing out. So I'm going to take my thumb drive first of all. I do not typically listen to music this way, but if you plug one in with music, it just starts playing. It automatically pulls your music files, recognizes them, and starts playing. It sounds really good. Bluetooth and digital files on this have no noise or hiss, and this thing gets loud. I'll turn it up just a little, and that's louder than I want to have it facing me like this, and I barely turned it up, so quite loud. But you can see there you've got control for USB audio. Let's go to the radio next. This is kind of interesting, and another not great way that it handles radio functionality. There's a scan button here, and if you hit that, it's going to go all the way through the frequencies and set everything that it thinks is a signal that needs to be a preset. Mine, it came up with 45 presets. Some of them are very clear. That one sounds good. That one doesn't. Go the other way. Not good. Let's say 43 presets, my bad. Not good on preset 1. Preset 2 is. So as you can see, like, it just sets everything that gets even a weak signal, it calls it a preset. And the only way to change stations using the manual controls here is up and down. And so you got to cycle through lots of different frequencies. Not a great way to handle that. A better way is the included remote. So what you can do is just use the numbers. If you want to go to 106.5, you hit 1065. Whoops, I was too slow on it. Let me try that again. Let's go 1065. And it will enter that as a frequency and go to that station. So if you're going to use this as a stereo receiver, you're definitely going to want to use the remote because it's a headache to go through 30, 40, 50 presets using those buttons just going one station at a time. Okay, but it does work pretty well as a stereo receiver as long as you use the remote. Next, we're going to go to Bluetooth. I've got it connected to this other phone. We're going to pull up some royalty-free music. I'm going to see if I can do this. Kind of hard to do this with one hand while I'm filming, but let's get this phone going here. And I'm going to play some music. Again, crystal clear. You won't be able to hear this through my phone recording, but it sounds really good. This thing does great for Bluetooth. I mentioned you got bass controls. I can pull the bass all the way out or pump it up. Similarly, treble, I can take all the highs out or bring it up. And it sounds really good. This is probably the best use of this to me is as a Bluetooth receiver, making it all the more painful that there's no way to output the sound to an existing rig that you can only do it with the built-in speakers. So this is more or less my overview of this unit. It's well made, very small, doesn't take up much space, sounds good when you connect it to some decent speakers, but it really would benefit this a lot to have some other form of output, a headphone jack or line out. I'll say that one more time. So overall, it's okay. I'm going to give it like maybe 3-4 stars, something like that. Could have a little more functionality. The radio handling of the presets is not good. But it does function pretty well and basically does what it is advertised to do. And it's not a bad choice for an inexpensive, very small amp. So if you've got any questions, post them. I will be glad to see if I can help answer those. And otherwise, hope this has been helpful, my overview of this Sunbuck receiver. And thanks for watching.